On a radio station broadcasting now that I've even been accused of copying. I've been accused of copying a guy called James Stannage, who used to be on Piccadilly Radio many years ago.
Oh, I see.
And I think is now on Signal Radio. Yeah. And to be honest, what I do is not even similar to what James Stannage did, other than it is occasionally aggressive, and James certainly was aggressive, and in fact was very good. Yeah. But there the similarity ends.
Yeah. And can I just ask you something else? Is there any chance of you ever coming over here to Widnes?
There was a chance. I had a concert booked in Widnes on the 3rd of October, but for reasons that I'm not about to go into, that concert is now cancelled. Oh. And I think it's unlikely that I'll be doing one in the foreseeable future in Widnes.
Oh, bad luck.
Well, bad luck for Widnes, perhaps.
At the Queen's Hall.
That's where it was going to be. Yeah. It now isn't going to be.
Oh, well, are you at Southport or anywhere? I would love to see you.
I don't know. There is only one argument show still booked, and I don't yet know whether that will even go ahead.
Oh, so we just have to keep listening.
All right.
All right.
Cheers. Bye-bye now.
Thanks very much.
How do, David?
Hello, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to talk about driving schools.
Go on.
I had some lessons once on PSV, and they estimated we should do so many hours for the test. And the bus broke down twice, and it broke down the morning we test as well. I had to cancel that and have another week, and I had a couple of hours lesson before we test and failed it. So what do you think?
Well, what do you think I think?
I don't know. I didn't get my right tuition that I should have got, really.
Yes.
And they, I phoned them up and they said, oh, write a letter, and I never heard nothing. It was 12 months ago.
Well, you shouldn't have left it so long, but write again and say, what do you propose to do about all the money I wasted with you? And if they don't tell you, then write again and say, well, I want this much compensation. And if I don't get it, I'll sue you. All right? Okay. I'll do to another David.
Alan, good evening to you.
Good morning.
Regarding this record La Bamba.
Yes.
That everybody's throwing up all sorts of ideas about.
Well, no, two people have done.
About 10 minutes ago, maybe, something like that, said it was around about 1961.
That is correct.
And the strange thing is, my wife and I, originally, my wife is a Dutch girl. I met her in Holland and Belgium, and she remembers back to when she was about 17 again. She was about 1962, 63, something like that. And it was Trini Lopez who made the record.
Trini Lopez?
Yeah. Now, that was the hit on the continent.
Right, well, I don't remember that, so maybe it was. He was a Yank
anyway. That's what I was thinking, yeah.
I don't know is the answer.
He was a Puerto Rican.
I know, but he worked out of America.
That's
well, I didn't know,
yes.
But he worked out of America.
That's right.
But
now,
I know nothing about it.
He was on the TV and on the continent, like the sort of the forerunner of the videos.
Yeah.
And I saw him on the continent when I was stationed in Belgium. That was in 1966 to 69. And it was on then. And I remember it was on all the jukeboxes.
It still is on most of them, I think.
Yeah, it was. But it was Trini Lopez.
Trini Lopez. Well, in this country,
think of Richie Valens, you see, and it didn't click at all. And my wife said it was somebody called Lopez, and said straight away, Trini Lopez. I remember him.
Well, all I know is that in this country, the lady that started all this off wants to know if and when Richie Valens had a hit with it in this country.
I think it could have been he made the cover for this country, maybe.
Possibly.
Possible.
No idea.
Just a
I'm
quick
sure some of our music people will know.
Yeah, well, my wife wants to know, because she is very Dutch, of course. She is still Dutch. She isn't naturalised English or anything.
Go on.
You always say, how do so-and-so, at the opening of your talk to somebody. She wants to know, isn't it rather strange that where she comes from in Tilburg, they there say how do to somebody when they're saying goodbye?
Yes, I know that.
Do you?
Somebody wrote and told me.
Oh, very strange.
I know someone who used to live in Belgium.
That's right. Well,
and they tell me exactly the same thing.
That's probably North Belgium, because in actual fact, the reason for it is that that's in the war, right at the end of the war, North Belgium and South Central Holland was occupied by the Americans and the Canadians. The armoured columns. Well, they were stationed in that area. And of course, the Americans always say how do to everybody.
Well, they say howdy.
Howdy, yeah. Well, some of them do say how do or howdy. And I suppose the Dutch people there, not understanding the English,
Thought they
just
were going when they
saw
were
an American
coming.
saying "how do" to everybody and thought it was sort of goodbye, and it's been just carried on from there.
That's probably where the expression "Americans go home" come from.
Well,
It's
you
really,
never know.
it's really welcome the Americans.
Yeah.
All right, thanks very much.
Anyway, Trini Lopez, if anybody has got any records on the records of that era, around the 61 through to 64 period, maybe they can dig it out and find it under Trini Lopez.
Smart, thank you.
Okay.
How do, Jamie?
Hello, Alan.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a comment about advertising my car in a local newspaper.
Advertising what?
My car.
Oh, your motor car. Go on.
Motor vehicle, yeah. I'm not allowed to mention the newspaper.
No.
You see, I put it in, and, well, you see, they have a policy whereby you advertise it for so many nights, and you get another 3 nights free.
Go on.
And I never had one phone call about the car in the whole 6 days. Is there anything I can do about that?
No.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Put it in the Red Rose Advertiser next time. How do, Kate?
Hello, Alan. You've had some calls about Jehovah's Witnesses.
We have indeed.
One of my son's school friends, whose parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, was kicked by a horse, and the injury didn't heal up, and the parents were told that the leg would have to be amputated.
Mm.
Now, they'd only agree to the operation if the surgeon would assure them that he would use a blood substitute, and he wouldn't give them that assurance, so they wouldn't give their consent to the operation. And eventually they did find a surgeon who said he would use the blood substitute. Now, whether he did or not, there was a lot of controversy about this. They said that he might have lied, to save the boy's life. Because by this time, the infection, whether it was cancer or gangrene or what, I don't know, but the whole buttock and leg had to be removed. And it seems rather incredible that they could do that operation without a blood transfusion. But anyway, the operation was done, and the parents obviously believed the surgeon. But the boy was 16 at the time, and he agreed with his parents' decision, which seems rather, their belief is something that you cannot shake, because the story hit the local press.
There are lots of beliefs that you cannot shake. That doesn't mean those beliefs are right because of it.
Terrible. I think, honestly, this boy was a lovely child, really, and very brave. He eventually went back to school. How he managed to, to cope at all with that terrible disfigurement.
Well, I would say that he was helped by his God.
6 months later, he died, Alan.
Fine, but he was still helped by his God.
But, when all the thing was going on about this, they wouldn't have the operation, and it was in the press, and they had shoals of letters.
Mm-hmm.
And churchmen and all sorts of people were pleading with them, and they still wouldn't change their mind.
Mm-hmm. You have to respect their courage, even if it is born out of stupidity.
But they weren't, this is the point. I didn't know they were Jehovah's Witnesses until this happened.
No, but that doesn't mean they're not stupid for doing it.
And, they seemed loving family, and
well, they are a loving family.
I couldn't understand, I can't understand it. I wish someone would explain it to me.
Well, the simple thing is, you have to come to terms with the fact that you can be as brave when you are misguided as you can when you are not misguided. Now, I'm not suggesting that the courage was lacking. I am not suggesting that the faith was lacking. I'm not even suggesting that their God was lacking. What I'm saying is that the teachings of the faith, in my view, are reprehensible.
Awful. And they're so blind. All they do when you try to talk to them is to quote the Bible.
But they're no more blind than Catholics that will not have abortions or will not permit abortions, than Jews who will not eat pig, than Muslims who will not do all sorts of other things, than those that, I forget what religion it is, my apologies to them, but those that will not eat food between dawn and dusk during Ramadan. I think they're Muslims, but I may be wrong. My apologies if I am.
That's not killing people, is it?
Well, no, it isn't killing
dying.
people, but there are people who die as a result of their religious beliefs. We can think of a good many million that did during the last European conflict. So we mustn't say to people, you are wrong to believe what you believe. But we must try to convince them that they are.
Instincts, I feel that if my son was being attacked by something or other, without any compunction at all, I'd shoot somebody or, do everything.
Fine, but I wouldn't.
No.
So we all have beliefs that are ludicrous.
I mean, I'm saying that now, but I've never been put to the test.
Well, okay, but the trouble is, what we have to do is, I find it, I'm sorry, I almost started to preach. I don't think people should do it for this reason. But when I believe something, I believe it on the basis of, I hope, an untarnished view of right and wrong. It isn't some supposition I've got out of a comic or out of some medieval book called the Bible. Yeah. It is something based on my interpretation of right and wrong, and it does not have the, I suppose, the prerequisites of a religion or a god. It's made from inside me.
Isn't it? Your own freedom to choose, and they've
Indeed.
been denied that freedom, haven't they?
Well, they've chosen a particular collection of rules,
but it's not,
and I think that's that in my view is unacceptable. They don't have a say in those rules. They have a say in whether they accept them. All religions, every single one of them, when you boil them down, when you simmer off all the rigmarole, you end up with blind faith, and you cannot shake blind faith. There's no logic you can use to defeat blind faith, because it is blind.
That's true, that's true.
All right.
Anyway, it's sad. But, by the way, people who want to get rid of them, they're supposed to carry a book. I phoned because I can't bear them to come, because every time I see them, I see Jodie, And I phoned, and they said they're supposed to have a book, and if you don't want them to call, they're supposed to write your name and address in the book. And I did tell, they're coming round now with children even, a woman and her daughter or whatever, they come now. And I did tell this woman, and I haven't seen them since, so whether it worked or not, I don't know. But she did write in a book.
Well, it would appear that it has worked.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Ta-ra.
Okay.
I'll do Bob.
Hello, Alan.
Yeah.
Just to clarify this little abandoned business up, I can't sleep, it's getting me down. It was never a hit in this country up until this version now, although it's been recorded by many acts, both on singles and LPs, but it was never a hit in this country. This is the first time it's ever been a hit.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Oh, you're not finished?
No, being a Warrington lad, what group was you in a drummer with? Or are you not allowed to say?
It's best if I don't. But the name Rivet Symbol trips off the tongue.
No, never heard of it.
No, well, that's why I'm not in it.
May have been after my time. When I'm
Behave. Oh, no, after your time.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I'll settle it after.
I'm doing you a favour.
Yes, I was just thinking then. I slipped up then.
Yes, no,
Hey.
I was sort of involved 63, 64.
Oh, it was last year with me when I was young. Hey?
See ya.
Cheers. How do you, Bill?
Hello, Alan. I want to talk to you about the question of blood that's...
Go on then. I've got a lot of time, so you'll have to be brief.
Okay. Do you personally know the purpose of blood in the body?
Yes, to get oxygen to the various bits and other minerals. To get minerals to various bits and to get oxygen to various bits.
Right. Did you know that transfused blood does not carry oxygen around the body for 24 hours after being transfused?
No.
Right. It just shows what a self-opinionated prat you really are.
Yes. That it? Oh, thought you were going to have a conversation. You obviously weren't. How's Simon?
Hello, Alan.
Yes?
I'd like to talk about drunk driving, please.
Go on.
Right. Well, I think that all people who are actually prosecuted for drunk driving should be given a larger sentence.
Larger than what?
My sister's fiancé...
Larger than what?
Larger than the sentences they are giving now.
Which is?
As I say, my sister's fiancé has just been given...
Tell me what the sentence is.
12-month ban.
There, we're not bothered about your sister's fiancé. What she does in her own life is nothing to do with you or me.
Okay.
So, what sentence do you think they should have?
Well, I think they should have the sentence of the 3-year ban plus a larger fine.
Why?
Well, I think that drunk driving is a very serious offence.
Well, I don't think anyone would disagree with you other than drunk drivers. Tell me why you want a larger fine and a longer period of ban.
Because I don't think it really discourages it.
Do you think a longer period of ban would discourage it?
I think it would.
do you not think that the only thing that will discourage it is more of them getting caught?
Well,
Because the chances are, if you're a drunk driver tonight, you will not be caught.
it's possible, but in my
No,
area...
it's not
there is-
possible. The chances are you will not be caught. More people drink more than the limit and do not get caught than get caught.
Well, in that case, I also think that there should be more police on patrol doing more random tests as well as the
what do you mean
larger
more
fines.
random tests? One random test is more than is permitted legally.
Well, there should be new legal drafts to make the random testing, more
There, you
common.
see. With a little help, you can get it right, can't you? Hello, Bill.
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ringing about that fella that's just been on about his driving lessons.
Mm.
And I'm a driving instructor myself, and what I want to say is that he hasn't been robbed at all. The money that he's spent on his driving lessons he's obviously got. Whether he's passed or failed is
Well, just a
another
moment. Just a moment. His driving vehicle, or the vehicle in which he was to take his test, broke down on the day, and he was not then able to take the test. He's lost that money.
Yeah, but...
well, in that case, he's lost some, hasn't he? He's still had the lessons, of course, and if he is not able to drive as a result of those lessons, then so be it. That's not necessarily the instructor's fault, although it could be. But if a number of those lessons were not completed because of a faulty vehicle, then those lessons at least he's wasted his money for, hasn't he?
For those lessons,
Hasn't
yes.
he? Well, that is what we suggested he should do. Discover how much compensation he is entitled to and then sue for it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but what?
you said...
I said, write to them and ask them for their proposals. If they do not give you any proposals and how they're going to resolve the situation, then sue them for what you think you've lost.
Yeah,
That
but
is perfectly correct advice, is it not?
surely on...
Is that correct advice, or is it
correct
not?
advice, yes, but surely on the day that he has brought down, he's not paid for that specific lesson.
Well, that is the assumption you're entitled to make if you so desire. We were not given to believe that.
Well, he must be a
So
complete
what
fool if he has then.
He must be what?
A complete fool if he's paid for the lesson.
He must be a
which has
complete
broke
fool
down.
anyway. But is he as big a fool as you're making him out to be? He may be a fool, but it would seem that the guy that was teaching him's a thief.
Yes, but he did
Yes, but what?
eventually. He did eventually take his test, which
That is no solution, is it?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the driving school that took him out probably did pay for...
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill. I'm not prepared to allow you to guess.
Well,
You can guess all you like. I have given the man good advice. In your experience, stuff and nonsense. He wasn't at your school.
Yeah.
So your experience is worth nothing.
Yeah, and another... Okay, then I'll give you that one. But another subject...
It's not a case if you will give me it. I am right.
Okay, you're right then. I want to talk to you about another subject.
Then ring me up about it. How do Steve?
Hello, Alan. It's me again, not bad at driving. The fellow's just been on.
Oh, well, you're gone again now.
When you think about cars, you face to think of John Wilding.
The Garstang Agricultural and Horticultural Show is this Saturday. There's something for everyone at this great annual event, and this year's show promises to be the best yet. John Wilding and a superb range of e-registration Fords will be there. Smithy Caravan Park with a quality range of caravans will be there. Make sure you're there. Don't miss the Garstang Show this Saturday, August the 1st at Wire Lane, Garstang.
When you think about cars, you face to think of John Wilding. John Wilding!
We're a little window company and specialists in UPVC.
The Little Window Company believe that recommendation is the key to success, which is why they're fast becoming the area's leading window and door suppliers. So whether you want just one window or a whole house full of replacement windows at the right price, plus domestic and commercial security shutters, the Little Window Company are the people to see. The Little Window Company, Stonebridge Mill, Longridge near Preston. Call Longridge 4319.
Little Window Company.
It's everybody's idea of a trip to paradise, a holiday in Hawaii. And it's probably your idea of a holiday that's way out of reach. But now, for Red Rose listeners, that idyllic Hawaiian holiday is genuinely affordable. For £599, we'll spend 2 nights in Los Angeles and 9 in Hawaii. The price includes transport, flights and hotel accommodation. When you consider the standard airfare alone is nearly as much as that, I think you'll agree this is an outstanding holiday offer. We leave on the 2nd of November, but you must book as early as possible to guarantee your place. Pick up your Hawaii holiday leaflet from Red Rose Radio or any branch of National Travel World. Then sit back and imagine the tropical palms, the Pacific sunsets, the Hawaiian guitar,
I'll do, Howard.
Hello, Alan. How are you? I was round St Paul's Square this afternoon, and I was going back along Deepdale Road, and I saw an unusual sight. There was four darkies carrying a coffin.
Good night. I don't like the term darkies. How do, Ian?
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
I'd like to speak about records.
Go on.
When you buy records, I want to know why you're not allowed to play them at parties.
You are allowed to play them at
It
parties.
says on the record you're not allowed to public broadcast them.
Party's not a public meeting.
It is.
It isn't.
People who come parties are public.
They are members of the public, but it is not a public meeting. People have to be invited.
And another thing it says on the record that you're not allowed to lend it.
That is true.
Well, if you buy the record, surely it's your property, you're allowed to do what you want with it.
In truth, that statement about not being allowed to lend it to people isn't quite right. You can lend the record, but they are not allowed to play it because they haven't bought the privilege of using that copyright.
Do you think that's a bit daft?
No.
All right, thank you, Alan.
Ta-ra. How do David?
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
Can I talk about engines, please?
Visit the Pickering's Wedding Fair this Sunday from 3 p.m, including fashion show by Cameo, Oriflame demonstrations, complimentary drink and charity prize draw, with £50 voucher to spend at the Pickering's. All the help and advice you need to plan your perfect wedding. The Pickering's Country House Restaurant and Hotel, Garstang Road, Catterall near Garstang. The West Horton Summer Show and Carnival is on Saturday the 8th and Sunday the 9th of August, with so many attractions it's unbelievable. There's a giant fun fair, a mini circus, a giant maze, aerobatic displays, plus Automania, the classic motorcar show with a fabulous Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Make sure you pay a visit to the West Horton Summer Show and Carnival at Central Park, Bolton Road, West Horton, just 1 mile off Junction 5 of the M61. Show begins on Saturday the 8th of August at 12 noon.
Have you got a Red Rose Radio 7-Up car sticker in your car? If not, get one now, as we're giving away £5 a day, Monday to Friday, throughout July, August and September to owners of cars seen with one of these stickers. To get your car sticker, send a stamped addressed envelope to Red Rose Radio Promotions, P.O. Box 301 Preston, and tune into Red Rose Radio to see if your car's been spotted. This promotion is run in association with Red Rose Kitchens of Moorbrook Street, Preston.
I'll do, Pete.
Hello, Alan. A little bit about the La Bamba record. I've got the date of it.
Go on.
It was on the B-side of a record called Donna, which Richie Valens recorded. I think he was about 17. It was the last record he made before he was killed with Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper in the plane crash. On the back of it, the B-side is La Bamba. It's on London American Records. I've got it in front of me on a 78 with a chunk out of it. And it's got recording first published 1958.
Thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Cheers, ta-ra. How do? Whoever we've got, I've forgotten now. John, but he appears to have disappeared. Hello, John.
Hello?
Oh, you are there.
Yeah. I was trying to ask you a question about you don't like Scousers.
I do like Scousers.
Well, on your programme a couple of weeks ago, you said you didn't like them, and you always say, like, get off your Scouts, so-and-so, like.
I don't say so-and-so, like.
Well, what is it, what was the phrase you used? Maggot? Scouse maggot?
No, I don't think I've ever used the term Scouse maggot.
You said it a couple of weeks ago. On the radio.
No, I didn't.
So you got no grudge against Scousers, like, no?
I didn't understand that. What?
You've got no grudge against Scousers, like?
No.
Oh.
No what?
No grudge.
Oh, grudge?
Yeah.
No, I've got no grudge.
Oh. I just thought you didn't like the Scousers, that's all.
Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be addressing the questions that you are.
That's true. Okay.
Well, I'm okay, yeah.
Alright, ta-ra.
Bye-bye. And that proves my theory. How do, Ian?
Hello?
Yes?
Hello?
Hello?
I wanted to hold, you know this Joe Longthorne thing?
What Joe Longthorne thing?
Well, it was on
in the Star, you know the Star?
What Star?
The newspaper.
I'm aware of its existence, yes.
Well, I don't think he should pry into his life, like.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
Why do you feel that?
What do you mean?
It's obviously too difficult for you. Goodbye. How do Mark?
Yes, hello, Alan. I'd like to talk about Liverpool and Birkenhead. You seem to think a lot of people from Birkenhead are Scousers, but we're not. It's a river between us and Liverpool, just like it is between England and France.
It isn't a river between England and France.
Well, what is it then? It's water, isn't it?
Well, you didn't say it was water, you said it was a river.
Yeah, a river.
Well, it's not a river.
What is it?
It's the channel.
Yeah, channel, but it's still water.
Yes, it is water, but it isn't a river.
Okay, there's water between us and Liverpool.
Well spotted. How do Bill?
Hello, Alan. I'm just ringing to talk to you about the fact that I don't believe you are a pacifist.
Fine.
And the reason is, like a fella spoke to you last week about your show, your programme being violent in a mental way. And you said that it's not really you that does it, you just play the character.
Yes.
But like an actor does.
Yes.
Well, surely you can't be an actor if you haven't got the words all written down in front of you. They all come from you.
Yes, you can.
Well, not in the sense that.
Yes, you can. In fact, there are plays where there is only an idea written and the character of the people in that idea.
Yeah.
And then they play the parts as if they were the characters, but they don't have a script.
That's right. They don't have
That is a form, a process of acting. Now, I have an idea, a character, and I come on here, and that character performs the programme.
Yeah, in that sense, but you were not performing with another actor, you were doing it with real people.
I'm doing it with other people, but that also takes place in some plays. Indeed, I'm trying to think of the title of it, and I can't at the moment, where the audience is invited to participate with the actors playing their in-character roles. So once again, without script.
Yeah, so what you're saying is the fact that it's your job to do this.
It's the actor's job to do that.
Yeah, which is your job to be the actor. So
My
it's your job, really.
My job to perform the role, yes.
Yeah, so if a soldier who has the job to go out and defend his country in killing, then surely
But I am not killing.
Yeah, but if it's right for you to be violent in your job, then surely enough it's right for a soldier to be violent in his job.
As terms of his occupation, yes, but then we have to examine whether that violence is doing anyone any harm, whether it has the objective of doing anyone any harm, and whether it is acceptable. Now, my view is that the soldier's job clearly is to do somebody some harm. It has consequential harm done to others. My job may have consequential harm, but all I'm doing is performing a role as part of a piece of entertainment, rather like the clown who throws a custard pie at somebody. That custard pie may cause harm, but that wasn't the objective.
Yeah, but in that sense, surely then what you're doing is worse than a soldier, because one, a soldier does it to protect his country, you're doing it to earn money.
You said that the soldier is doing it for his living, and I don't see the difference between the two, and I do this if you want a nice euphoric idea of why I do it. It's crap, by the way, rather like the soldier's idea is crap, but if you want a nice euphoric, I do it to make 100,000 people a little happier each evening.
Yeah, but you see...
Perfectly honourable objective. It's crap, but it's a perfectly polite objective. I do it for the love of my love of man.
Sometimes a soldier doesn't do it for money. I mean, a soldier who was in the last war didn't do it for money. I mean, he was sent there by...
He did it because if he didn't, they killed him.
No, he was sent there to
That's right. He was told to do it. No.
No, yeah.
No, most people became soldiers because there wasn't a choice. Some people became soldiers because they wanted to be.
Yeah, but you see, you have got the choice, Alan. You can,
Indeed, I have
if
got
you
the choice,
want,
and I
not do your
choose.
job.
And I choose
To do it because it earns you money.
I choose to do it because I want to do it. It does earn me money. I wouldn't do it if it didn't earn me money. But if I believed it to be harmful, I wouldn't do it, no matter how much money it earned me.
But you have
But what?
said that it is aggressive program. You said it tonight.
It is aggressive.
So it
I
is
play
harmful.
rugby. Well, I
It
don't
must be
anymore.
harmful
But
if it's aggressive.
Well, no, aggression isn't necessarily harmful.
Why not?
Well, because it isn't. Full stop. There is no why not. It just isn't. I have played rugby many, many times. It is an aggressive game.
Yeah.
But it's not a harmful game.
So nobody's ever been hurt in rugby?
People, if you listen to the end of the
Nobody's ever been
if you,
killed in
if you
rugby?
would like to hear the end, you can. If not, you can get stuffed and get off. I don't mind which.
Go on then, I'll listen.
Well, I don't want your patronising permission to speak. You're not worth it. But yes, people get injured in rugby, but that is not the objective of the game. Just like making cakes, the objective isn't to poison people, but sometimes they do get poisoned. Shaking hands with people, kissing people, isn't objectively to hurt them, but people do sometimes get hurt kissing. Are you telling me that kissing is violent?
Well, not in that sense.
Because it's not the objective of it, is it? Although some people do get hurt doing it.
Yeah, but getting back to the point of
Come
my
back to your
conversation,
point. I don't know why you took us off at that tangent, but do come back to your point by all means.
And the point is that what you're basically saying, if you let me finish, is that violence is okay and acceptable if it's your job to do it.
No, I am not saying that. That is the implication you're taking from it, but your implication or your assumption is wrong. I'm not saying violence is okay if it is your job to do it. I am saying that part of this programme is aggression, not violence, but aggression. You perhaps won't see the difference between the two, but you are entitled to your idiocy. However, it is aggression, just like the doctor who breaks your leg is being aggressive and violent. But of course he may well be doing it in order that he can put it properly. Put it in the right place. Now what I'm saying is this is a particularly bizarre form of entertainment, a very enthralling form of entertainment according to 100,000 people's free choice each evening. The person, the individual sat here speaking to you now is speaking to you from a character role, and that character role has within it a degree of violence, but it is harmless in that it has no intention or objective of hurting anybody.
But what its aim is not what it actually does. I mean,
I disagree with you. I do not know of any case at all where someone has been injured by this programme, except the odd person who has struck his radio in anger.
Well, that's what I mean. And the person...
Well, I've not caused that.
...who gets on the phone...
You see, in order for you to say that I have caused that, everybody would have to strike their radio in anger. 1 out of 100,000, I'm sorry. The odds are much more on my side than theirs.
Yeah, but it's on the odds, isn't it? It's not fact.
Well,
I mean,
the odds are a fact.
I mean,
the fact is that no one has ever suffered harm as a result of this programme. That's a fact. You can put what odds you like. That is a fact.
Okay, I'll have to have another think about that one.
Okay. Meanwhile, have one of these.
You have been Beswicked.
I'll do Simon. Hello, Simon.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about books, please.
Go on.
I believe that some fictional books are a good release for today's society against the horrible incidents that happen.
So do I. Try W.H. Auden's Collective Book of Poems. Brilliant. Against all dreadful things that happen. How do John, our final caller this evening?
I do, Alan. I'd like to talk about the Jehovah's Witnesses and
Go on.
some of the things that have been said. A woman rang earlier and said that if you don't want them to come, to give them your name and address and they'll book it down. I advise people not to do this. I don't know whether it's my paranoia or what, but they started coming round to my house. And out of interest, I started speaking to them, see what they had to say. And they take notes about you and stuff like that. I got to find this out.
Well, why is that evidence of it being not a good idea to give your name and address? They've obviously got your address. They stood on your doorstep.
Yeah, I wonder why, if you insist that they don't come. Yeah, I see what you mean. I wonder where these reports go to, though, that they boot down, so to speak.
Well, I presume they go back to the Kingdom Hall, saying, don't call on this address next time we're in that area. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't, as long
They
as...
already know your address. They stood on your step.
Yeah, I don't think...
Don't tell him it's number 12, Smith Street. OK, he'll never notice.
Yeah. As long as it goes back to the Kingdom Hall, then fair enough. But if it...
Well, it doesn't matter where it goes. If somebody writes down... No, it doesn't. If he writes down your address, he writes down your address, for crying out loud. There it is, your address. If you don't tell it him, he can still write it down. You're not pretending you haven't got an address, have you?
No.
Right. Well, don't be so daft, then.
Okie doke.
Ta-ra.
When you think about cars, it pays to think of John Wilding.
The Garstang Agricultural and Horticultural Show is this Saturday. There's something for everyone at this great annual event, and this year's show promises to be the best yet. John Wilding and a superb range of e-registration Fords will be there. Smithy Caravan Park with a quality range of caravans will be there. Make sure you're there. Don't miss the Garstang Show this Saturday, August the 1st at Wire Lane, Garstang.
When you think about cars, it pays to think of John Wilding. John Wilding!
The West Horton Summer Show and Carnival is on Saturday the 8th and Sunday the 9th of August. With so many attractions, it's unbelievable. There's a giant fun fair, a mini circus, a giant maze, aerobatic displays, plus Automania, the classic motorcar show with a fabulous Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Make sure you pay a visit to the West Horton Summer Show and Carnival at Central Park, Bolton Road, West Horton, just 1 mile off Junction 5 of the M61. Show begins on Saturday the 8th of August at 12 noon.
This weekend, bring the family to Fleetwood and Cleveleys and have a great day out in the Wyre Resorts. There are beautiful beaches, picturesque villages and lots of seaside attractions, and would you believe it, free car parking. On Saturday, our mobile information office will be at the Garstang Show, and Sunday sees the appearance of the great Kuvari in his fabulous magic show at the Marine Hall Fleetwood. For more information, ring Fleetwood 71141 now.
On a sign by a house, there's a message and a name you should know. The message says for sale, and the name shows the way to move home. The name is White Gates, and that means action!
Tomorrow's kind of estate agent works fast to get results. With White Gates, Red Rose sellers get red-hot service, and you pay nothing until the property is sold.
When the sign says White Gates, you're on the way to a sale. Deal direct with Direct Windows.
Direct Windows, the best way to buy UPVC windows and doors in Lancashire. We install the superb Bowater Halo system, and all work is guaranteed and underwritten at Lloyd's of London. Buy direct, avoid the middleman, and make hard cash savings. Visit the new factory showroom 7 days a week at 64 Red Scar Estate, Longridge Road, or phone Paul Kelly on Preston 703 008.
Deal direct with Direct Windows. Direct Windows.
I can see you yawning. Good night, children. See you in the morning. You must cheer on. I've heard it said. Uncle Fred said, it's time you're in bed. So I say good night, children. Don't sleep in your graces. Good night, children. Wash your dirty faces. Drown your sorrows. Bring the empties back tomorrow. Good night, children. Good night. Good night, children. I can see you yawning. Good night, children. See you in the morning. You
children, it is too. One more programme this week. We're all looking forward to. That'll take place tomorrow night at 10, or indeed tonight at 10. Hope you'd like to join us. Mike Daisy with you next, of course, from 2 till 6, followed by Paul Fairbairn. Aren't you lucky? Thank you to the beautiful Sarah and the ugly Rod for doing the phones tonight. I'll be back tonight at 10. Till then, ta-ra.
The 2 o'clock news, this is Mike Carson. There are renewed calls for the 2 doctors at the centre of the Cleveland sex abuse row to be suspended after the High Court ruled that 6 children taken into care be reunited with their parents. Peter Bowes reports.
The solicitor representing one of the families, David Schofield, says legal action against doctors Marietta Higgs and Jeffrey Wyatt has not been ruled out. In his view, there's a big question mark over their future.
It is a matter for the health authority to decide what they think is going to be best in the interest of the general public.
Middlesbrough MP Stuart Bell's call for the doctor's suspension. Meanwhile, the regional health authority is being urged to make its position clear today. Peter Bowes, IRN, Cleveland.
A cargo plane has crashed into a busy highway outside Mexico City, killing up to 15 people and leaving 20 injured. The rush hour crash happened shortly after the plane took off from the city's main airport. The BBC faces legal action for allowing volunteers for a programme on survival to butcher and eat a rare protected seal. Footage of the slaughter was removed before the programme was broadcast. John Cookson reports.
Millions of viewers are waiting to see how the 3 men and 3 women fared on the tiny island of Ramsey off the Welsh coast. One of the castaways, John Green, insists they had to kill the seal to survive.
When it was dead, then it was cut up, yes, it was eaten.
The seal was clubbed to death and had its throat cut, and RSPCA spokesman Stefan Ormrod said the BBC was right to cut the scene.
Because if the general public saw a group of stranded morons bashing a seal to death, I think they would be damned furious, and quite rightly.
At the time, it was illegal to kill the seal, and Greenpeace says it'll bring a private prosecution.
Jubilant American law enforcement agencies believe they've seized the biggest drugs haul in United States history, a warehouse stacked with cocaine worth £160 million. The drug, 2 tons in weight, was hidden in banana boxes in a fruit and vegetable warehouse in Chicago. Officials tracked the consignment after it came off a ship from Honduras to Miami. 4 men, 2 Colombians and 2 Cubans have been arrested, and U.S. Attorney General Edwin Meese says the seizure will widen official knowledge of the cocaine network. President Reagan has been laughing off his latest journey to hospital for further treatment on a cancerous patch on his nose. The White House is insisting there's no risk from the minor operation, even for a man of the president's age. Andrew Mandelstam reports.
This will be the 3rd time that Mr. Reagan will undergo this type of procedure. The operation was ordered after a laboratory test on a lesion removed from the tip of the 76-year-old president's nose on Wednesday was shown to contain cancerous cells. Following the news, Ronald Reagan joked about the sore at the end of his nose.
Just a small billboard that says, it's a reminder, that says, stay out of the sun.
The condition is very common in people who have been exposed to considerable amounts of sun. Mr. Reagan will have a local anaesthetic and should be discharged soon afterwards. Andrew Mandelstam, IRN, Washington.
2 schoolboys who went missing after a trip to the beach have been found, safe and well, after a 7-hour search. The playmates, aged 6 and 8, turned up in the town of Withensea after leaving their home in a Humberside village. Independent Radio News.
Lancashire's weather, overnight temperatures should drop not below 15 degrees Celsius, and the day will be dull and overcast with drizzle, which may turn to rain at times, and the rain may be heavy on the hills, and there will be mist and fog also. This mist and fog may also affect coastal areas, and the maximum temperature will be 17 degrees Celsius, that's 63 Fahrenheit, a mucky day.